And we say happy Saturday night to everybody out there. Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you live from the great county of Coleman, Alabama. We had an amazing game tonight between the Crimson Tide and the Bulldogs. I'm going to be honest, though. I don't like to sugarcoat stuff. Um, I like to be open and honest with you guys. We'll get to the comments in a second, and I definitely want to drop the link and hang out with you guys tonight. I got it right. I mean, but here's the thing. I worked all day. Worked hard all week. Got a little jingle on a Bama Saturday night. See what I did there? Let me go ahead and take this overlay down. I am on camera. Anyway, and I don't know what's going on with my hair. I tried to comb it before I came on here. I guess that. Anyway, so the Crimson Tide are your SEC champs in 2023. They rout Georgia 27-24. And I predicted the score. I did, and it's the first time I've ever gotten a score right. I've had it to where, like, I once predicted Georgia to score, or I predicted Alabama in 2020 to score 24 points on Georgia, but Georgia scored the 24. And, of course, Alabama in that game won with 41 points. So I've had where I've gotten a score on the board, but I've never been 100% accurate. I see we got some people in the chat. Third and Nate, what's going on, buddy? Mayhem Matthew, congrats, bro. You deserve it. Let's see what bowl game both of us go to. Let's definitely try to do the show next week. It's not a guarantee. I'll double check my work schedule, and I'll let you know, Mayhem. Maybe we have to pre-record, but let's talk about this game next week, and let's touch base. We'll talk about it. 5 people watching. I appreciate that. We're live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Really appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. What's going on? Rise up in the ATL. Rua. He's actually, believe it or not, a Falcons fan, but he's an Alabama fan. Only one thing can be said: Roll Tide. Roll Tide. You can always get a Roll Tide from me.
Roll Tide!
Yeah. And Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. See Bama. Let's go. Roll Tide. So Alabama tonight stopped Georgia's undefeated season in 2023. 27-24 was the final. If you go back a week, though, that was the same score of the Iron Bowl. I don't know if I've ever seen a team go back-to-back games with the same exact score, and they win both of them. That's actually pretty impressive. 27-24 is what we got tonight. Let me go ahead. I got some, as Uncle Lou would say, copious notes. By the way, it's halftime of the ACC title game. 3-0 Florida State. Louisville has possession going into the second half. Michigan up 10-0. So a couple of shutouts for the top 5 teams. But Alabama, being the 8th seed, took care of business tonight against the number 1 Georgia Bulldogs, 27-24. I came up with I came up with what Georgia could have done better in the game, or what they could have done in general. I didn't really come up with what they could have done better. I want to hear from the Georgia fans tonight. I hope they're not hiding, which I see some in the chat. So they're pretty much well in sight tonight. But 27-24 the final. Number 8 Alabama taking on number 1 Georgia. I came up with 3 winning factors for the Crimson Tide tonight. A 17-7 advantage at halftime. They shut down Brock Bowers, who had 5 receptions, which is good. No touchdowns for him. 53 yards. Kool-Aid and Caleb Downs combining 4 tackles for Caleb Downs, 6 for Terrion Arnold, 2 tackles for Kool-Aid. Those guys, a trio of defensive backs, I would say helped Alabama get to the victory that they got to tonight in Atlanta, Georgia. But it's interesting because there was so much riding on this game. And there's so much coming out of this game. What do you do at Georgia? Does Alabama get to go to the playoffs? Do they leave out the SEC? What needs to happen? Washington, I think, is going to go because they won last night. You had Texas win. You had, well, not that it matters, but just to throw a score out here, 26-14, SMU won over Tulane. Liberty beat New Mexico State. Why am I reading these scores? I don't know because they're right there in front of me. But you got Michigan up on Iowa. You got Louisville down against Florida State. You're going to get Washington. You're going to get, if Florida State holds on, they're going to win. They'll be undefeated. They'll be ACC champs. That's 2 spots. What if Michigan wins tonight, even though Jim Harbaugh's back coaching? I would assume they don't hold it over their heads, though. That's 1, 2, 3. And then you look at Alabama and then Texas. There's the head-to-head, but you don't always have to go off of that. It's a good possibility that Georgia's left out of this. I'll drop the link here in a second, Mayhem. It's a good possibility that Georgia's left out. I'm not saying they should be. I don't think they should be. I think they've dominated everyone they played until they played Alabama. I think Georgia should get in. But am I going to be butthurt if they don't? No. No, I'm not. I'm just not. What does this say? Roll Tide? Yeah. I could not come up in these notes with what Georgia could have done better. Other than, and we'll get Mayhem on here in a second. I'm going to drop the link for anyone that wants to come on here. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. Let's hang out. Let's have a good time. I love this community of people. What we do ask real quick, I ask that people don't come on here start cussing. We try to keep it clean. It's not Christian based, but I am a Christian, and I struggle with saying some stuff every once in a while, but I've cleaned it up a lot. I've come a long way. But we got Nate in the back. I'll get you on in a second. Bottom line is this. Not much that Georgia could have done. Alabama just wanted it more, and they played a great game. They had a 17-7 advantage at halftime. They went on to Georgia did outscore them in the second half, but it wasn't enough. I mean, they outscored them 17-10. So Georgia if they had just had a possession to kick a field goal to tie it, maybe we have overtime. I don't know. But there's a lot that I think could have happened in this game that could have gone Georgia's way. But hold on. Let me fix some stuff here. We are having some issues on my end, so I apologize. Can you guys hear me good? We're going to go ahead and bring on, since he asked first, we're going to go ahead and get Mayhem. Can you hear me okay?
Hey, I can hear you fine.
Okay, we're just having issues on my end then, but it's picking back up.
So can you hear me?
Yeah.
So congratulations, Alabama.
Thank you.
And Ballard. You won again. I mean, what else can I say? Y'all won again. And I did want to come on here and congratulate y'all. And, I started YouTube right before Georgia went on this 29-game win streak. It was like literally right before. So,
yeah.
people probably would have thought like, oh well, he only came whenever they started winning. So once they lose, mayhem probably disappear, right? Well, I got news. I got news for y'all. I've been a Georgia fan way before the last couple of years before I joined YouTube. I've been a fan since probably 2005, 2006. So, yeah. So I'm still going to be here. Go Dogs and that, right? Um, you know, so I congratulate Alabama, but I'm going to be here. I've been talking my smack, and the Dogs lost, and we'll be back. Just wait. We'll be back. No problem, right?
Yeah.
But it's 12-team playoff next year. It's almost a guarantee that Bama and Georgia get in. We won't have all
Yeah.
this confusion. But I wanted to talk about what Georgia might have done wrong in this game. Well, number one, penalties. That's the number one thing that really probably costed Georgia this game is penalties. And, I mean, you don't go on a false start. I mean, you're about to kick a field goal. There's no reason for you to get a false start. There's no reason, right? And you jump early for some reason. It's a field goal. I mean, why
Right.
are you doing? I mean, maybe that's 3 points. Y'all won by 3 points. That's 3 points right there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then it goes back 5 yards instead of a 45-yarder makeable. It's a 50-yarder, right?
Right.
So, that's something. Also, another thing is Georgia fumbles the ball. We were doing some type of end around trick play thing, which Carson Beck thought he had, gave it to, can't remember, was it Dylan Bell, or can't remember who he was handing it off to, but then fumbles, right?
Yeah.
Bama gets the ball on like the 8 or 9 yard line. And Georgia's defense actually did really good holding to Alabama to only 3 points, right?
Yeah. No,
So
look, I fully agree that there were those moments where, I mean, even at the start of the game, again, I was at work, but I kept an eye on the scoreboard and everything. Was I wrong? Did Georgia not have like a 10-0 lead at some point, and then Alabama started getting it going? They were up on Alabama early, and I was
we had
I was a little bit afraid.
Georgia did not get up 10-0. Georgia got
Okay.
Georgia. Alabama got the ball, was 3 and out, and then Georgia got the ball, made it look very easy to get the first touchdown. Like it was like we ran straight through y'all's defense, right? Like a knife, through hot butter, right?
Yeah.
And after that, Georgia pretty much stalled. Y'all's defense played really good all the way up until, I mean, y'all's defense played good the whole game. But what I'm saying is, we didn't really score until right. I mean, right before halftime to make it
Right.
10 to no, it's 17-7. So somewhere in the third quarter, we got 10 to make it 10-17. But I think what really was the game, right? I think the game was whenever Georgia scored a touchdown for it to be 20-17, right? And
Yeah.
it was on Jalen Milroe and the Alabama offense to put a drive together. Y'all responded, right? I think that was the game-winning drive. Y'all put together a fantastic job after Georgia stopped Alabama like 4 different times on offense. Y'all put together a really nice drive, scored a touchdown, and kind of iced the game after that. I mean, pretty much. And I was worried about Milroe's legs. And
Yeah.
I thought, I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought that Georgia could score touchdown for touchdown against Alabama. That's what I thought. I thought our offense was very explosive. and which, they are very explosive, just had a bad day today, and give credit to Alabama's defense. Y'all played very well. Some Georgia fans, I'll say this, some casual Georgia fans are going to blame the refs for this one. I'm not, because the refs, outside of a couple calls, and I can say the same thing about, Bama had some bad calls, Georgia had some bad calls, but outside of them couple calls, the SEC championship was called very well, I thought, right? Um,
Yeah.
so so I thought the referees did uh, a very good job. Maybe they missed one or two things on Georgia, and maybe they missed one or two things on Bama. But like I said, I don't think the referees was a factor in this game. It wasn't.
No, 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 not at all, because all was fair. There were not any blown calls. And even Alabama, I mean, I don't have it pulled up, but they had a few penalties of their own. It just came down to the wire. And when it came down to the moments where they needed to make the right decisions, Georgia just didn't make it. And
right.
unfortunately, it didn't go their way.
I mean, I know what most Georgia fans are going to say. The casual Georgia fans, they're going to talk about that 4th and 4. Was it a catch? Was it not a catch? And it didn't get reviewed. Alabama kind of hurried up and snapped the ball. It didn't get reviewed and stuff. But
Right.
that's for the casual excuse makers, right?
Yeah.
I think Georgia had every chance to win this game. I mean,
Now,
Georgia.
I like I said, I worked today, so I'm looking at it here. They scored a touchdown. Kendall Milton runs it in with about 2:52 left. Did they attempt an onside kick and not get it?
No, they tried to squib. Georgia tried to
Oh,
squib.
they tried to squib?
Yeah.
We lost Mayhem. If he comes back in, we'll let him on. But we got Nate and we got Rise Up. Y'all can unmute yourselves too, by the way. If you guys want to jump in here on the conversation, all we ask is that you
Ballard,
keep it clean.
Ballard, there is
Yeah.
only one thing to say to start off.
What's that? What's that?
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
We did it. We snapped the streak. At the end of the day, man, listen, when we can beat them in the SEC championship, Death Taxes and Alabama beating Georgia in the SEC championship. Those are three things for certain. But we got to have a talk about this, how this thing turns out tomorrow at noon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think
we
Michigan
definitely.
is your lot. We don't have to talk about Michigan. They're going to be number one. I think now.
You think Michigan, even with the allegations this year, you think they get the top seed?
Absolutely.
I mean, Lou said the best.
Who else can it be?
I don't know. Probably Texas. No, they're too.
It can't be Texas.
I forgot. They're too far down. Never mind.
You just can't put Michigan out. There's no team that can contend with Michigan for that number one. So I think Michigan's number one, but after that.
Well, here, considering that the number one team dropped today, and considering Michigan's number two, they won, or if they do win, if they lose, they probably drop a little bit, and they probably still sneak in. But if they hold on, they got a 10-0 lead right now over Iowa in the third. I would assume they pull away. Yeah, I would sneak Michigan at the top, and I would say you put Washington in there. I think.
Well, Ballard, the thing is, Michigan, we know about that. We have to now talk about the 2, 3, and 4, and then because the big subject is how do you value Alabama and Georgia? I'm with you. I think they both should get in.
You think they both should get in? Now, let me ask you this: have you? Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you how I would put this thing. I would say Michigan is number 1, Texas is number 2, Bama is number 3, and Georgia's number 4. That's how I think you put this thing. I think that's as the 4 best teams as you can possibly get it. I think you got to put Texas over Bama. I understand that because they beat us earlier in the year, even if it was in September. Okay, I think you see that rematch, you see who's the best team this time around, but that's how you have to rank it for now. I think those are the 4 best teams. Listen, outside of 2 wins versus Oregon, I mean, in the Pac-12, what is there really
Oh,
impressive?
hell. Look who it is.
What's
Oh
going on,
shit!
boys? Roll Tide.
Hold up. Millis, where you been?
What's up, my man? I'm sorry for interrupting you, man. Let the man finish what he's got to say.
Yeah, go ahead, Rise Up.
All right. Washington, to me, just that Pac-12, that's not, even though they went undefeated, that's not a strong argument. I mean, Florida State with a 3rd-string quarterback, you're really going to tell me that's better than any one of those 4 teams? Come on. And don't even get started about the conversation with Ohio State. So I think that should be the 4 best teams. Now, I definitely could see a possibility where Georgia gets left out, but you cannot leave the SEC out of the playoffs. You just can't. I think you have to put at least
You
Bama
know
in
what
there.
doesn't make sense? You know what also doesn't make sense? I had heard that Georgia gets in even if they lose to Bama, and someone out there said that, well, what if Bama has the 1 loss to Texas and you can't leave Georgia out and blah, blah, blah. How crazy would it be if they put Georgia in but left Bama out
You
because
can't
whatever?
do that because if
No,
you're
that's
going to go
what I'm
off of
saying.
Texas,
Someone out there, I don't remember
then
who it
would
was, but I
Texas
heard
be in?
someone say that.
The question
Slim,
is,
what's
would
going on?
Texas be in?
I don't know if Texas. See, that's where the committee's going to be like scratching their brains off because
Because
you
then that's
got
the ultimate
Pac-12,
hypocrisy. You're
you
going
got
to leave
Pac-12, you
a.
got FSU, you got Texas, you got all these teams. This is
You're
why
going
we're
to.
going to 12 next year.
That's why, honestly, I say this is a lame duck. Just put the best 4 in. Just put the best 4 in, and next year you have 12. It'll be all solved for the most part, but that makes no sense. That's the ultimate hypocrisy. Because if you're going to, let's say, okay, you do Michigan 1, Washington 2, Texas 3, and Georgia 4, or vice versa between Georgia and Texas, but you're leaving Alabama out. Okay, Texas has that head-to-head over Bama, but Alabama just won the SEC championship, and not only that, beat Georgia for the first time. That's Georgia's first loss in 2 years since Alabama beat them 2 years ago. You can't do that.
Facts. Yeah. What do you think on this, Millis?
Well, first of all, let me say Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Yep.
And, well, we know Washington's in it. Okay, that's a lot.
I don't know if
Washington's
Washington's in. I really don't.
Yes, Washington's in.
Washington
I
is
don't think
definitely
we
in.
leave the Pac-12 out.
The Pac-12's the best conference this year. They're not getting left out.
Yeah, facts. I agree.
So, are you watching the Florida State game right now? It's junk.
Yeah.
60-something total yards in the first half. The whole game's a fiasco right now. Florida State and Louisville just awful. I don't know. The Michigan game's not looking any better, really, to me. I
Those
stopped
might be the teams you leave out.
but as far as getting into the playoffs, they're saying, okay, you can't leave an SEC team out.
Yes, you
Okay.
can.
Well, that's what I was about to say, Slim. Why can't you let an SEC team out? Just because they've always been in it? No, that's bullshit.
They're the toughest
An
conference
SEC
in America.
team
No, they're
can get
not.
left out. You can have the Natty without an SEC team in it right now. It's all up to these 2 games that are playing right now. To me, it depends on who wins and how they win. And I will tell you this: I'm a gump card from the heart up. Okay, but we're not getting in over Texas, even though Texas doesn't have as many top 25 wins as Alabama has this year. They're still not going to put Alabama or in over Texas. Do they put Georgia in over Texas though? That's my question.
Actually, Texas
They
does have
probably-
as many top 25 wins.
Do they, Slim?
Yeah, that the Oklahoma State win gave them as many because they're in the top 25.
Were they in the top 25 when they played
They
it?
check in.
Yeah,
They check
yesterday.
in 18.
No, I don't. Okay, I'm not referring to that game. I'm talking about throughout the season. Through the season.
Well, I mean, that one counts too.
Okay, all right. So, and me personally, as a fan, I can't speak for every fan, but I can speak for this fan right here. And I'm proud of Alabama, whether they make the playoffs or not. They have done me proud, and
Yeah.
I take whatever they give me, and so roll tide. I mean, if we don't make the playoffs, so what? Do I want to be in the playoffs? Yes, I do, because I think we can beat just about any of the other teams that are in. But if we don't make the playoffs, I'm still happy with my Crimson Tide.
I look at it like this. There's not a coherent argument anybody can make to me that's going to hold an ounce of water that a 13-0 Power 5 team gets left out.
Even if it's Florida State?
No. I mean, look.
Yes,
Florida
even if it's Florida State. Guess what? If just say for the sake of argument, Alabama won, but Alabama lost, Georgia won, Carson Beck broke his leg, Georgia should still be in.
Okay.
I don't care if you lose your starting quarterback. I mean, here, perfect example. Should Alabama have not been in the playoffs in 21 because of the injured players that you had?
Right.
Well, no.
Okay, then.
Florida
But-
State
Florida State should be in as well.
But I will make the argument, right? I'm just playing devil's advocate. I don't think Bama's getting in. I don't think Georgia's getting in. But I'm just going to play.
Bama can get in if Florida State loses.
They're not going to lose.
It's a tied ball game.
Oh yeah, they
Who
just
the hell
tied it up.
knows? I mean, right now, Florida State can lose. Yeah.
It's a tied ball game. Yes, they can absolutely lose.
Is it tied now?
Yes,
I don't think.
I was watching them make the field goal as I said that.
I mean, I just don't
Rise
think.
up. I don't know what noise you're making, but it's annoying as hell, honestly.
But
You didn't think Georgia would lose?
I mean, I thought Georgia would win, but obviously, I mean, who was going to pick again? I mean, unless you're a Bama fan, who was going to really? I mean, everybody was picking against Georgia every single week, but other than them fans,
No, everybody wasn't picking against Georgia every single week. I only picked against Georgia 5 weeks, and that was with the spread, and that's because I was trying to make money because Georgia doesn't cover spreads.
No, I'm not talking about you, Slim. I'm talking about there's plenty of receipts on Facebook saying, "Oh, Georgia's going to lose to South Carolina. Georgia's going to lose to Florida."
Okay. You made the argument in a comment section earlier. Why are you listening to casuals?
Exactly.
So practice what you preach.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. But I do believe
Let's try this again. Is this better? My bad.
the most four deserving teams right now is Michigan if they hold on to a win. Michigan, Washington, Florida State, and Texas. That's most deserving. Yeah, they deserve to go.
Question for Matthew.
They're not the best 4 teams though. They're just not.
Okay, but see the whole best 4 teams. That's just a talking point. That's not what's on paper for the committee. The committee does have rules down that they have to go by, and those rules don't say best 4 teams.
Yeah, but I mean, the president said, they go by best 4 teams, not most deserving. So I mean, I don't know.
That's why I say.
Well, they go by what they go by though is number 1, strength of schedule, head-to-head, end results and matchups. There's something else out there. I don't understand what the eye test is, but I mean,
it's all subjective.
There's
just
also
like the top 25.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I just believe if you can't put $1 down that says the team will win, obviously the team is better. That's just how I feel. This is how I really feel.
Well, once again, that's subjective. It's all subjective that you think Alabama or Georgia could beat Michigan or Washington or even Oregon or any of that. We don't know unless they play each other.
Yeah. I mean, I just
Right.
don't want another national championship. I don't want, to watch. If Georgia's not going to be in it, then I want to watch a really competitive national championship. That's what I want.
Amen.
Listen, we don't get a bunch of them, though. I mean, there's a reason people look back on the 2005 national title game between USC and Texas is so great because we don't get those all the time. That's just a fact.
Yeah, but I don't want no 65-7 though. I mean, that'd be
Well,
boring.
I mean, some people like that, some people don't. I mean, you can find plenty of Georgia fans that liked it. You can find plenty of Miami fans that liked our national title because it was 35-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll find people that like it. You'll find people that don't. Is it an entertaining game? No. But do we always get entertaining games? No.
No, this one between Florida State and Louisville has been pretty boring to me.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Hell,
I'm half
man.
drunk, so I'm pretty entertained.
And that Michigan game ain't much better. It's just about as boring.
Florida State. I have a pair of eyeballs. Florida State is about to score, but Florida State is not one of the best 4 teams in college football. They're just not.
No, I agree.
No,
But they don't always put in the best 4 teams. Like Slim said, they put in the 4 teams they want. They don't put in the best 4 teams. They never have.
And the reason too why they pick the teams
they put in what they think will
it's
bring
money.
them.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I do think that's part of it too. But I mean, let's be honest. If they're an undefeated Power 5 team, what argument do you have to hold them out?
If
They were a 1-loss SEC champion.
Okay, so what? Their Florida State schedule is higher than strength schedule is higher than 3/4 of the SEC.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
How many ranked wins did they have over the season?
Let's see. Clemson.
I'm gonna pull it up.
They beat them. They've had
I'm
a
not
few.
trolling. I'm asking seriously. I'm not trying to troll you, Slim.
They've had a few. I mean, once again, I'd have to go back and I don't remember who exactly.
Number 5 LSU. They got 2, Slim. They got number 5 LSU and number 16 Duke. I got it pulled up here.
Okay, so this one will make them number 3, which puts them on par with Texas and Alabama.
If no SEC team gets in, because if Bama does get in, I'm gonna be cheering for Bama. But if no SEC team gets in, I'm gonna be pulling for the Washington Huskies because my prediction in the preseason, I had Huskies in the playoffs. I hope they win it all. But
I'm not gonna lie, especially after championship weekend,
Yeah.
Texas looks like the best team in the country right now.
yeah, versus who though? I mean, Oklahoma State. I mean, who's that? I mean, I don't know.
Oregon. How about Oregon? Oregon's not a pushover.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah, they handled Oregon twice.
Name me the great win on your schedule there, Matthew.
We have 3 top 25 wins.
Okay, so does Texas.
Yeah, but I mean, we have 2.
Yeah, but nothing. So does Texas.
But we have 2 top 10 wins.
The only thing I'll say about Georgia is this: you had who'd you play? Kentucky, Tennessee.
We had a stretch. We had Missouri, Tennessee, and who was the other one?
Yeah, and Tennessee just got
Missouri.
back into the top 25. They're not a top 25 team.
Missouri.
But hold on. I gotta say something on behalf of Mayhem, Matthew, and Jordan. When you played them, they were ranked. But here's the thing for Georgia, and this goes for any other team. You can't control the downfall of your opponents.
No,
No,
you can't.
but
You can only control.
But perfect example. You can't tout because I actually got into this argument with a Georgia fan. You can't tout Arkansas in 21 as some great top 10 win because they were top 10 when you played them, but they finished 5-7.
Well, then Alabama,
Yeah.
then Alabama can't say that they beat the number one team because we're not going to be number one whenever the final rankings come out. We're not going to be number one. So there.
Well, it still gives them a top 10 win. That top 10 Arkansas finished with a losing record, sir.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Is that is that Alabama's fault or Georgia or whoever else played Arkansas this year?
Well, no, but that takes away a top 25 win, and it goes against your strength of schedule.
See, that's where I think the committee that's where I think the committee has to make some changes. I mean, would Matthew? I want to know if Mills agrees on this stuff.
Why would they need to change that? Why should a win just because Arkansas was top 10 at the time? You have to look at it at the end of the year. That's not a good Arkansas team. They're 5-7.
I think, I agree halfway with Slim, and I agree with I'm like kind of on the fence because you are right. I mean, 5-7 Arkansas team is dookie, and you probably shouldn't count that. But just like Tennessee, they lost to a top 10 Missouri. But I mean, you can't help that. Both two teams are really good, and one of them had to win. I mean, outside of Tennessee's only losses were Georgia, Alabama, Missouri, and Florida, which that was a bad loss. But, I mean, you had 3 top 10 losses.
And we lost Mayhem. Speaking of losses.
Well, there's some bad weather up here right now, so we're catching a lot of rain and storms and that.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I get the point he's trying to make, but like I said, make a coherent argument where an undefeated Power 5 team should be out, and I'll listen, but I haven't heard one that makes any sense to me.
I mean, if you're in the Power 5 and you're undefeated, I don't care what your schedule has looked. I mean, how many times did Clemson go back to 2018? What were they saying about their cupcake schedule? And they were 15. They went 15-0. They didn't get left out, and they didn't play
shouldn't have. And like you said, they were talking about cupcake schedule. Oh, this is the greatest team ever in Alabama that they're playing. That's all you heard going into that game, and Alabama got absolutely obliterated.
That's true.
What game was that? What game was that?
44-16.
Yeah, the 2018 national title.
Yeah, the Clemson. Okay.
So that whole strength of schedule argument doesn't always hold a whole lot of water with me either, because I heard it about Miami in the early 2000s as well. Oh, the Big East ain't all that good. But, Florida State was what they were, which was prime Bobby Bowden. That was prime Frank Beamer with Virginia Tech and Michael Vick. And we went in there, ran through our schedule, dominated the national title.
Well, this exact type of scenario is one of the reasons why so many people advocated for the 12-team playoff anyway.
Right.
Back a few years ago when they were introducing this playoff change. So that was one of the things that they were, one of their talking points was this exact type of scenario coming up. And
well,
I wasn't a fan of the 12-team playoff when they first announced it, but I'm starting to kind of see where it might actually be a better system than the 4-team. It's not going to have its, it's going to have its own positives, of course.
But
listen, I think all this proves that the BCS was a far better system. I don't think I won't disagree with that.
No, I won't disagree with that at all, Slim. I miss the BCS, but I don't think we're going back to it.
If the BCS was here, we wouldn't even be talking about it. It'll be Michigan and Washington. That's it.
Yep, that's it. Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't think we're ever going back to BCS. So we just have to accept what we have,
No, you actually don't have to accept what you have.
Yeah. So you think we're going back to BCS and stuff?
I think I don't think enough people would be on board for it.
No,
but if you had enough people on board for it, yes, you could force that change.
You ain't gonna get that many people on board for it, especially when you go to the 12 team.
I think it's an unpopular opinion.
Yeah,
I don't
'cause
like. I
12
don't like
teams would
the.
have
I don't
all
like
kinds
the.
of. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was watching Sea Dogs live earlier, but I like what he said about the 12 team. I mean, there's a possibility where you have a Michigan Ohio State 3 times in 1 year. I mean, I don't know if I like that.
No, the problem I have with just the playoffs period, not just the 12 team, I don't like the changes that have happened to college football, and it's just going to get worse with the 12 team playoff. More
Did we
people are
not
going to
already
be.
have a similar scenario in the 4 team? Did not Alabama and Georgia play each other twice in the same year?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we've already seen that scenario in the 4 team playoffs.
Well, let
Um,
me jump in on this real quick and say that I think they keep going. They went from the BCS because of all the different teams that could have been in a national championship. There could have only been 2, and there were so many different teams that should have, could have, would have got in. So they go to the 4-team
listen,
playoff.
you're
Now
going to
they're
have
doing
you're
it
going to
for the
have
12
shoulda
team.
woulda conversations, no matter how many you have.
Oh, exactly. No. That's what I'm trying to get at, Slim. You're going to have those conversations of who should be in this last spot, and it's never going to end. I mean, eventually they're just going to have to do a bracket for all 130 FBS teams, which God forbid that
Well,
happen.
I think there's less of a conversation right now. Like, there's a conversation just because people want there to be, but there's no real debate over who should be in.
Right.
Not this year. I think it's pretty cut and dry. You have 3 undefeated Power 5 champions. Of course, they should be in. Very few people with any sense are going to argue that. And then you're looking at some one-loss conference champions. Okay, you have Texas. You have Alabama. Alabama owns the head-to-head over Texas.
No, Texas owns
End of
out.
discussion. Or, yeah, Texas owns the head-to-head
Yeah.
over Alabama. Excuse me.
Yeah.
End of discussion. I mean, it's real simple.
Well, so far you don't have anybody undefeated, except is Washington undefeated?
Washington and Michigan are.
Yeah, but that game's
Florida
not.
State.
And Florida State.
Listen,
Yeah.
Iowa can't score. They're not winning the game.
I'm just hoping. I'm just trying to have hope. That's all.
I just want.
understand it. I do.
I just want to say this is a great day to be an SEC football fan. I just want to say that.
What's up, Octavian? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, man.
Hey,
It was a great day to be a Florida Gator. It was a great day to be an SEC football fan because I just could not stand to watch Georgia win another game. So Alabama did us a favor and finally took them out of their misery. I'm so happy for Alabama.
Roll
I mean,
Tide.
Alabama did you a
Tide.
favor because you couldn't beat Georgia. So there.
Yeah,
Oh,
we beat Georgia, so we had to.
Here we go.
And I don't have to worry about UGA beating Miami's unbeaten streak either.
But I mean, I don't think them streaks are ever going to be broken again. It don't matter. I mean,
Probably
nobody's
not.
ever going to win 29 games in a row ever again.
No, probably not. That's probably gonna hold for a long time.
And we
That's
know,
all right, though.
Wait a minute. Y'all realize that somebody just did that just a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
Clemson went 29-0.
Did they?
29, no. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Clemson. How did Clemson go 29-0 whenever Georgia's the first team ever to go 12-0 3 straight seasons in AP poll era?
Because it's only been a 12-game season since 2004.
Exactly.
Miami went 34. Miami had a 34-0 streak from 2000 2002.
No, you said Clemson. You said Clemson just did that.
Yes, Clemson did it as well.
When?
Oh God, let me pull up the year. I think it was like.
There you go.
I think it was.
They literally. This is
15, 16. I think it was 14, 15, 16.
Well, they wouldn't have been 12-0 for 3 years straight.
15, 16, and 17, or something. I just looked it up.
I'll tell you like this, guys. If that playoff system stay like that, I'll tell you who's gonna win it right now. It'll be the Texas Longhorns. It'll be Texas and Washington in the championship game.
Think so?
Oh my
I
god.
want if my I'm pretty
This
confident
is
that my Georgia
CBS, by
Bulldogs
the
are
way.
not gonna make it. So I want Washington to win it all.
Georgia's not going to the playoffs.
That's what he said.
That's what he just said. He just literally said the same thing.
No.
I'm surprised you would crawl out of a hole, Octavian. You're bleeding recruits left and right.
Oh, I'm still
And
alive.
this is where they
The
have
Gator Spirit is still alive.
by the
Okay,
Yeah.
way, just want to jump in real quick that Georgia plays in the Peach Bowl in this scenario, and Alabama in the
Yes.
Cotton Bowl against Oregon. Uh,
Right.
so that's not bad. I mean, look, the SEC has been dominating college football for like a decade and a half now, a little bit more than that. And
I'll say 20
you've
years.
had some. Yeah. I mean, if it ends up that they don't put the SEC in, like the rest of college football is going to be happy as crap. Like
Come on, Louisville, you got to
honestly,
intercept that ball. I'm sorry. I'm getting.
as
I'm
I was
getting.
saying, no, you're good.
So you think Texas gonna win it all?
Everyone else in college football is going to be happy that the SEC's left out, if that is the case.
Well, I would like it just for trolling purposes because there's a lot of people that wave that SEC banner, and it'd be fun to make fun of them.
No, the SEC will get a playoff, man. Florida State is about to get rid of Crumble here in the second. Yeah.
Well, y'all were talking about the 4 and versus the 12. I've always been for 18 because outside of the top 8, nobody really cares outside of the top 8. I thought 18 would be perfect, but I mean, because you're going to have a team in the playoffs every year, group of 5, the highest ranked group of 5 in there
I
every
thought
year. They're
16. I want to
automatically
do
going to
16.
lose every year. I mean, they don't even deserve a play. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't think they deserve a playoff spot. I mean, I really don't.
Well, see, what I find funny is people will make the argument that they're tired of blowouts in the playoffs, but then they'll say that we should expand the playoffs. And then they'll also say we should include a group of 5 team. And it's like, what, really?
Well, we've
Well, let
had
me
to
ask y'all
five a
this.
couple times in the playoffs, and that didn't work out too well.
But should
Yeah.
they get rid of championship games altogether
No.
if we're expanding?
No, because
No.
they can't. Well, here's the thing: they can't.
They're gonna take the highest. Yeah.
With the 12-team playoff, it requires a conference champion.
Well,
It
just have the
requires
best record
6.
as conference champion then.
Huh?
Get rid of all divisions. The best record in your conference is conference champion.
Okay, but what are you going to do if you have two 12-0 teams in a conference, which you absolutely can have?
Facts.
Yeah, I mean,
And you'll
then
have, and in that case, you'll have 2 8-0 conference records. You can't just flip a coin over it.
And I know people are going to say, "Well, you just go with the highest ranked," but that doesn't do away with any of the controversy.
But they would
because
still
the
be
other
in the
team's
top
gonna
12, though. Them two 12-0 teams will still be in the top 12.
Yeah, but not every team in the top 12 is going to make it. It's the 6th highest ranked conference champions get an automatic bid.
Like I said, there's no perfect scenario. There's no way to get it perfect. There's always going to be some problem.
Exactly. That's why I say you go back to the BCS, because then you don't have the unintended consequences of everybody sitting out of bowl games because nobody cares, which is just going to get worse when it comes to a 12-team playoff. Because what are you going to see then? Then you're going to really start seeing it be like the NFL. Oh, well, last game of the season, we need to sit all our starters so they're fresh for the playoffs.
See, that's why I think they should move rivalry week a week above, a week ahead before that last game, so rivalries stay meaningful.
No.
I think they should just let Uncle Lou pick the top 4 every year.
I think it's a foregone conclusion that we've got NFL light now in college, and the nail's already in the coffin of college football.
Tomorrow's gonna
Come
be
on,
great
Louisville. I need a
I
turnover.
think.
I don't
Oh
think you're
God,
gonna get it, Octavian.
I hate this goddamn team. I swear I do. They skate by every goddamn week.
They did this year, but I mean, look at the way they're built. They're not built to continue it.
Oh no. Everybody knows Florida State about to get ready to get knocked off the cliff. There's a cliffhanger waiting to happen.
You talking about Florida State?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because before, I mean,
Good
he's in a
God.
good recruiting class right now, but before now, I mean, his recruiting's really been kind of mediocre. He relies
Good.
heavily on transfers.
This freshman quarterback is god awful, man. That's god awful.
Well, he's a true freshman making his first start ever. What do you expect?
He's god awful, man. Look at all the Texas fans, though. Well, I'm just wishing and praying that Florida State lose, because you know what? Because I would love to see Alabama or Georgia make the playoffs. I would want to see him play. I want to see him play again. That was a good ass game. I want my seeing Georgia and Alabama play again, but I also want my seeing Texas make the playoffs too. So one of the SEC teams is gonna have to make it.
I don't
Either
know
one of
if
the
I
SEC
want
teams is
to.
going to be in.
I don't know
I
as an
honestly think.
Alabama fan.
Hey,
Real quick.
to be honest and real with y'all, I really think Georgia's gonna make the playoffs.
Think Georgia
I
How?
State?
really, I really do think Georgia's gonna make the playoffs.
How are they going to put Georgia in with 3 undefeateds, and Georgia doesn't have a conference championship, and Texas and Alabama do? Ohio State has a
And
better
Florida
chance of getting
State.
in than Georgia.
Huh. Yeah, how does a one-loss champion loser get in the playoff?
Like,
I don't
like,
see it.
yeah, and like this is just me personally, and I said this last year. I said when it happened. I said it in 2020 when it happened. And if Miami's in that situation, I'll say the same thing. You should not be in point blank period if you lose your conference championship game.
I think losing your conference title is. I mean, is it crazy to think that's worse than not even making it in cases like this?
Yeah, that's why I think Ohio State has a better chance of getting in than Georgia because they didn't lose this week.
Come on, Louisville!
Texas won, I believe. I'm doing a playoff predictor thing on here. Washington
Yeah,
won.
Good
Texas.
Lord.
Michigan is probably going to win.
Yeah, Iowa can't score.
And then who do y'all got tonight? I guess Florida State tonight.
Yeah,
No,
it's looking that way.
Louisville. No, it's not looking that way now because Louisville's moving that ball down the field.
Yeah. Okay.
Come
In
on,
this
Louisville, let's punch it
scenario
in.
with those teams,
Quarterback running the ball.
Just assume that Florida State wins here for a second, just for the
No.
sake of
Florida State's
argument.
not. Let me tell you something.
scenario on
I don't see a lot of Florida State games. These guys right here is about to get ready to lose, and I could bet my dollar on that right there.
Yeah, but you won't. That's the problem.
Well,
Oh,
he
I
can't
was gonna
'cause he ain't paid Scott yet.
Yeah.
Scott
it's
Kerr.
only a 7% chance. 7% chance that my picks on here. These are not like my actual playoff picks. It's like a scenario simulation.
Touchdown! Oh, he missed it.
I'm muting Octavian real quick.
Yeah, because he's also about 3 plays behind.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I'm not even watching it. I stopped watching it at halftime. I couldn't take it anymore.
Well, it's 10-3
Michigan
Florida State,
and
and the
Washington.
third quarter just ended.
I mean, my choices were
Yeah.
watch the second half of that
Michigan and
game or
Washington
go
is
into
sure wild.
Ballard live stream. So I chose Ballard. Ballard, I chose you over Florida State.
What's that?
I say I chose you over the second half of the Florida State game.
Hey, I
You get what I'm
appreciate that.
saying? I'm
Yeah,
saying I had a
quality
choice of either
entertainment.
watching that game or coming on here with you. So you won.
Hey, I just realized, remember this. Ballard Sports Media is quality entertainment, but if you want the epitome of stupidity, go subscribe to Millis Vanillis.
Hey, baby, ain't nothing else. Ain't nothing but.
Epitome
Appreciate the
of
shout out.
stupidity. Yeah.
Hey, the epitome of stupidity. That's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn this this Florida State game on because y'all are making this sound interesting here.
Well,
Yeah,
listen,
it's getting good.
I can find just as much entertainment in a defensive struggle as I can a shootout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got a question. I got a question for Snow Shady Canes here. So I just want to know when we beat y'all the first game of the season, can we get our trophy back?
Well, number one, you're not going to beat us first game of the season, and number two, that trophy is for the winner of the yearly series, and you ended the yearly
We
series.
started it. We started back. It's a 2-game series.
No, every year, forevermore, or you don't get it. It is what it is.
I just
If
want to know.
if you want it that bad, restart the series and win it. Otherwise, it will sit where it's been since 1986 in the heck.
Restart the series.
Yeah, we're gonna restart. We're gonna restart the Miami and Florida series.
You know how a lot of these rivalries have got trophies for it. Well, the Miami Florida game was a battle for the Seminole War Canoe, and that war canoe has been in Miami's possession since 1986.
Yeah.
Granted that we won the last game.
You ended the yearly series in 1987.
We won the last game in 2019.
You beat us twice since 1985. Congratulations.
Well, speaking of rivalries, I'm not really upset, but I do like the Georgia South Carolina rivalry because I live in South Carolina, and we used to do the border bash every year, but next year it's not gonna happen, I guess. But it's weird because we're playing Ole Miss back to back. They could have just took Ole Miss and put South Carolina in there, or we could have. I mean, why aren't we not playing Texas A&M? I would love to play Texas A&M because I'm tired of their butt saying that we're scared of them because we're not, obviously.
I know we playing Texas A&M this year.
Well, I mean, Matthew, that's what you get when you do away with divisions. Or
well, they got rid of
not do away with divisions, but you expand your conference to the point where, I mean, some rivalries have to go away.
I don't know the exact schedule next year for Alabama, but I know they added Oklahoma because they're joining the SEC, of course. They got rid of the Mississippi schools on the schedule.
Yeah.
Yep.
But just remember, Ballard, I give you your flowers today. Congratulations. But remember who's on that schedule next year.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Listen, let me say
Ballard,
this.
Ballard, just remind him Kirby's 1-5 against Nick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I just want to say this, and I just want to say this to all y'all college football fans right here. Florida Gators will be undefeated next year because of our schedule, our strength of schedule. Have you seen our schedule? You could
Yeah,
get.
you're going to be lucky to win 4 games.
I got
This is gonna sound like a troll. I promise you, it's not. I mean this wholeheartedly. If Billy Napier figures out a way to win 5 games next year, he deserves Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh,
We're gonna be. Listen, we're gonna be back, man. We'll tell you we're gonna be back. We got a decent offensive coordinator hired that we just hired.
SEC.
Yeah, we got the toughest schedule in the whole college football next year, and we ought to make a point this year that we not the Florida Gators of this year.
Hey, you know what makes me feel better about a loss? At least I'm not a Florida Gators fan.
Oh my God, this Georgia fan here. I don't know if y'all seen my short. I don't know if y'all seen my short today about Carson Beck, but I made a little short about Carson Beck, and I told him the Georgia Bulldogs are frauds. They is frauds. Yeah, I just want to let y'all know that.
Yeah, we're so much
So
fraud.
Gamecock.
We're
Welcome back
so
to losing Octavian.
we're 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 so much frauds that in our 29 game winning
I,
streak we
I'm
beat.
so.
Listen,
I,
29 game winning streak, we've beat every single team in the SEC except for Texas A&M because we obviously didn't play them. But yeah, we're so frauds. We're fraudulent. Yeah.
well,
We
I'm so happy.
listen,
I'm so
Matthew.
happy that the
We were
Christian.
7-5, and we absolutely blew Texas A&M off the field. So I don't think Georgia would have had a whole lot of trouble.
Probably not.
I'm
No.
just so.
What too?
I'm just so glad that the Crimson Tide beat the Georgia Bulldogs today. I'm just so glad.
Well, you're welcome, Octavian, and you're welcome free to jump on the bandwagon whenever you get ready, sir.
I can't do that.
Except
I can't do roll tide here. But I could.
I'm just letting you know the
I
offer's
was
out
put.
there. The offer's out
I
there. If
was.
you get tired of losing, you want to jump on a winning team, we'll swing by and pick you up, sir.
Look,
I'm just saying.
I've been to Tuscaloosa twice. I went to an A-Day game actually back in the
Well,
day when they had Dennis French only. So
Yeah.
I seen Alabama struggle,
well,
But I'm
and I
let's
seen
not
good.
act like Alabama doesn't have problems now. I mean,
Yeah, no shit.
let's be perfectly honest. You still don't have a quarterback. Jalen Milrow is
Well,
not a quarterback.
he's better than he was when we was ready to throw him out of the game.
that's fair.
Yeah, he's gone from trash to litter. Okay, so he's not quite as bad as he was, but
You remember the movie Major Payne when he told them kids that they graduated from no longer being turds, now they're maggots?
there you go. That's what he
Yeah.
is. He's
I mean,
gone from turd to maggot.
I'm gonna give credit where credit's due, right? I think I think what really that last drive that Milrow had, he put it together, and because Georgia scored and he retaliated. He had a one great drive, but outside of that, it was really their rushing attack. Really, I mean that's what I've seen. And Georgia not having anything to do with offense for a long time in that game. I think
Well, I think Georgia
The, the,
fans underestimated Alabama's defense, and I think that Georgia fans underestimated Kirby Smart's kryptonite. Which, going back to when he was the D coordinator at Alabama, what was his kryptonite? Dual threat quarterbacks.
Well, let me say this too. Y'all, a lot of people were saying that Melrose not the better quarterback of the two, and he's not, but maybe not the better quarterback between him and Carson Beck, but he's definitely the most physical quarterback that Georgia's faced all year, in my
He's
opinion.
definitely the better athlete, but he's not the better quarterback.
He's not the better. Maybe he's not the better quarterback. He's the most athletic motherfucker out there. He's 6'7" and 270 pounds. He's a running back that throws the football.
I mean
That's
he
exactly
reminds
what I'm saying. He's the
You
better
know, Georgia
athlete out of the two, no doubt.
he
Georgia was not prepared for that type of quarterback tonight. And I'm going to tell you, people can talk smack about Milrow all they want. The guy's improved much, much over the season. And he's a decent quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. He's not elite. But he did a good job tonight for the most part.
there you go.
And he handled it when he needed to. That's the main thing with this Alabama offense. They're getting their third down conversions right when they need it.
Well, and I think
Preach.
I think Georgia's biggest problem tonight, there's no George Pickens on that team.
And also Georgia made a couple of errors tonight that hurt them pretty bad.
Well, I'll tell you
Beck
this.
dropped that football, handing it off to that back, that was a big. That was the only turnover in the whole game, and that costed Georgia right there.
Sure,
It's
the,
stuff
the,
like
the
that.
turnover and the missed field goal were the key to the game. But what I'm saying is, when a tight end and a slot receiver are your two best receiving weapons, you have a problem.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the other problem that I have, right? It's not really a big problem, but you trotted out Lad McConkey, and you can tell he's not.
Yeah, he was hobbling off the field, man. He shouldn't have been dressed to play.
But you have four. I don't care if they're freshmen or not. I don't care. You have Yazid Haynes, 4-star. You have what's the guy's name? 4-star. You have a couple 4-star wide receivers that are going to hit the transfer portal. I'm going to go ahead and let you know, Georgia Bulldog fans. You're going to see one of them hit the was it Anthony Evans? You have one of them guys, 4-star wide receiver. They're going to hit the portal. You can bet on it. But you should have, because they are fast. Yazid Haynes is really fast, and so is Anthony Evans. They're speedsters. And then outside of that one long bomb to Arian Smith, where was he at all game? You have some.
I know. Where was Smith the whole game? Fastest guy on the team. They didn't hardly use him.
He had one catch.
But you want to. But you didn't do anything downfield other than that one catch. You didn't try to go really. I know what Bobo did whenever our offensive tackle Marius Mims went down. I don't know what he was thinking. Oh, maybe we can't throw the ball like we were. I don't know what happened, but
well, you did see him get a little conservative those first two drives after Carson almost threw that pick,
which is weird.
Oh well, no, it's understandable to a point, but like I've seen some people blame Bobo. Bobo's not the problem.
Bobo's not the problem, but we did have some blenders on the offense. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought our defense was going if Georgia was going to lose, I thought it would be all on our defense. I did not expect. I thought it would be either a shootout or Georgia was going to win pretty easily. That's what I was thinking. I mean, I was not thinking that Georgia.
I don't know what would make you think that. This is the best defense Georgia's seen all year.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I felt like Carson Beck was in his bag. I felt like, we were playing some solid ball. I really did. I mean, and I thought maybe Lad McConkey and Brock Bowers might have been a little bit more healthier. But I'm definitely I'm definitely not making excuses. We lost this ball game. We had I think the last four out of the last 5 drives or whatever it was, we held them on punts. It was punt, field goal, punt, or something like that, right? And we came out with only 1 field goal out of all them 4 drives. That's crappy. You can't score nothing off of them drives. I mean, that's bad.
Oh, down goes Florida State's quarterback.
Yep. And now, what did they do now?
Well, I mean, they still got the lead, and their defense is playing solid.
Hold on. So you don't have a Jordan Travis, and now Roadmaker's down, or what's his name?
Well, Rodemaker's been out. Rodemaker, he got a concussion in the last game.
Yeah, we gave him a concussion. Well, we gave him a concussion.
You mean are you going to celebrate that? The player that did that was thrown out of the game for targeting.
Yeah, he ended his Florida Gator career by knocking out the Florida State Seminoles.
Wow, yeah. Louisville blocked the punt.
Whoa. Yes, I thought. Didn't I just say? Slim Shady Kane. I'm telling you, this team is imploding in front of our eyes. I'm telling you, they're going to lose this game.
What's
10-6.
What's imploding? I mean, this game has gone like this all night.
Touchdown. Oh no!
We're in that game right now, y'all.
Interception, Florida State.
10-6.
10-6.
I must be behind. I'm just seeing the block punt.
I didn't even get to the block
Well,
punch yet.
They're gonna have to review that. That might be intercepted,
Hey,
What are you
Seminole
talking
man.
about, Matthew?
huh?
What are you talking about, Matthew?
Was it a touchdown or interception?
You're way behind.
Did it? What is it? A touchdown?
A blocked punt, sir.
No, I'm talking about after that. Way after that.
That just happened.
Now the Roll Tide fans,
Yes, you can, Cody.
I was rolling with because Octavia was rolling with the Tide today. I was rolling with the Tide today.
Yeah.
have y'all ever seen that Ricky Smiley Roll Tide song?
I see what you're talking about, Matthew. Damn, they might have to. Well, no, he was bobbling that around. That ain't an interception. I see what you're talking about, though, Matthew.
Liverpool about
And
to
when
take
he
the
got
lead on them.
possession,
Matthew's even ahead of me.
I'm seeing the replay to see if I guess they're trying to figure out if that was a pick, but
No, that's not
it
a
wasn't
pick.
a touch.
It hit the ground. It was bobbling around.
Well,
Yeah, they're not
the
even reviewing
Louisville player. It looked like the Louisville player had. I guess
No,
not,
he
but
got stripped of possession.
okay.
That one's an interception. I'm gonna stop talking because I think I'm a little bit ahead. I don't know. But
Yeah, I think you're ahead. No, that
that's
wasn't an
I
interception.
just saw
He
the third
bobbled that
down.
around.
I'm talking
I
about
just
this one
saw the
that's about to
second
come
down.
up.
Run.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for spoiling it,
That's
Matthew.
Like I said, I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet.
Well, a little late now. You already spoiled it.
Michigan's pitching a shutout over Iowa. They're in.
Well,
For sure.
of course Michigan is. Everybody knew Iowa wasn't going to score.
I figured they get a field goal at least.
I said
I don't like
my prediction. My prediction was 31-3 on that game.
I would have. I didn't do a prediction video. I would have said 34-3, maybe.
What's the score of that game? I don't have it on.
It's like
20-0.
yeah.
They're gonna mess around and shut Iowa out.
Yeah.
they are.
Uh-oh.
Louisville gets handed a gift and fucks it up.
I know, right?
How did Miami lose to this Louisville team? And we only lost to Florida State by 5.
Yeah, how did y'all lose? That's a good question. I don't remember that game.
They couldn't guard. They couldn't guard. They couldn't guard wide receivers. Let wide receivers run all over, run around them, throw under.
It's weird because half of me wants Florida State to lose because I've been rooting against them all year, but then the other half wants me to go ahead and Florida State win so the conversations still happen, and I want to see what happens if they'll put.
Have you had your medicine today?
Who, me?
Yeah, have you had your meds today for your split personality?
No, I have not.
Okay.
See, I wonder. It was funny. There was a whole bunch of Oregon fans talking shit. I wonder if they'd take Mario back now. At least he could win the Pac-12.
Yeah, I don't know why. Because whenever people were saying, "Oh yeah, Oregon's just going to boat race them," I was thinking, why are they a 9-point favorite? They already. I picked Washington to win, but I was
because
confused.
Oregon dominated that first game. It was just stupid coaching decisions by Dan Lanning that lost them that first game.
Yep. Yeah, I was the same way at first. I was like, why are they favoring Oregon? But then I thought about the first game where Oregon Oregon had the game. They just screwed themselves out of it.
But like I said, if Bama doesn't get in, I'm definitely cheering for Washington all the way. Because if
Lost to the Huskies.
If Bama does get in, I'm gonna be cheering for Bama because I want to be able to say at least we lost to the national champion. But
listen, I don't see how they can get away with putting Bama in. I really don't.
If Florida State loses here somehow,
well, if Florida State loses, sure, but assuming they don't because they have the lead, and assuming Michigan doesn't lose because they have the lead. I mean, how do you justify putting in Alabama over Texas?
Yeah, you can't. You
I
can't.
certainly don't see it either, and I'm a Bama guy. So
I can. I mean, I know.
I don't see it
I can.
either.
I
As
can
much as
still.
I want to say,
I can
if they
still.
do, I'll cry bullshit, and I'm a guptard.
I mean, I can still make a case for Florida State. I mean, Bama over Florida State, and it has nothing to do with their backup or their third string or their fourth string, whatever quarterback. It has nothing to do with that. It just overall, even with Jordan Travis, I never counted Florida State as the playoff. I never did ever. Ballard knows that.
Well,
yeah,
I
Never.
mean that's fine, but I mean that's not really an argument. Not one you can actually use. I mean, Florida State's undefeated. Alabama's not.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just like Cincinnati a couple years ago. They're undefeated. I mean, so
Well,
what?
since Cincinnati's Group of Five, not Power Five, there's a difference.
Yeah, but ACC. I mean, I don't know. I know
What does
you.
that have to? Oh, okay, last time ACC faced SEC in the playoffs, Alabama got obliterated by Clemson.
Well, if they don't get something together, ACC won't even be a thing anymore. So if they don't get it together,
Based off of what?
what do you mean
They're
based off of what?
ACC's in better standing than the Big 12.
Whenever you're viewing games on the CW, I mean that's obvious.
What does that have to do with anything?
I mean, the last time I watched the CW, I was like 5 years old.
You realize that they had games on Bally Sports last year, and CW bought out that contract.
I think that's pretty poverty. I mean, I just do.
So games on multiple networks is poverty.
I mean, who watches the CW outside of football? Who watches that?
Okay, once again, you're talking about multiple networks, and the CW outbid the other network. That's the only reason it's on CW now. So that's actually a thing in favor of the ACC instead of against them.
I like CW. They got Judge Judy reruns on CW. So I can't be mad about that. Can't argue with Judge Judy.
I'd much rather. I mean, either way, I got DirecTV, so I had Bally Sports as well. So I got to watch the games that weren't on ABC or ACC network or ESPN. But I mean, what difference does it make whether it's Bally Sports or CW? What difference does that make?
Not a whole lot. I mean, but
okay then.
And then I don't even
dumb
know
argument.
I mean, I don't know. People are wanting out. I mean, the rumors, anyways. Teams are wanting out of the ACC, granted rights, and all that crap. I don't care about. But
how many of them are out?
None yet.
Yeah. And every date that they said they were leaving has come and gone without them leaving.
Yeah, I mean, I never said that they were leaving. I'm just saying that. I mean, eventually, it's not. They're going to leave before 2036 or whatever it is. They're going to leave before then. That's my belief, but not next year. Well, there's been tricks and there's been.
Well, actually, the thing is, they can leave anytime they want. The problem is the ACC owns their network rights, so their games can't be played on anything but the ACC network or an ACC affiliate.
Yeah, but if I don't really know anything about stuff, so I guess I should.
You can't buy your way out of the grant. That's the whole thing. The grant of rights can't be bought out of. The whole buyout is just to get out of the conference. The grant of rights, there is no buyout for.
Because some people were saying they could buy the grant of rights if they did like $500,000 or $500 million or whatever it was. I can't remember, but
oh yeah, there were people saying that might be a possibility, but the ACC commissioner come out and said no, that's not a possibility.
I mean, I like the ACC. They have the most national championships in sports in general.
They do.
So I want the ACC to be alive, but I want the Pac-12 to be alive. But
Well, the Pac-12 will just, in the long run, they'll end up being replaced. Is what'll happen there. They'll just end up, whether it's the AAC or it's
Mountain West.
the Mountain West, like adding Oregon, Oregon State,
Oregon
and Washington State in the
yeah.
to the Mountain West and making them
Yep.
a power conference. One of those two things will end up happening, I think.
Yeah, but you won't have your USC's and Washingtons and UCLA's of the world. You have.
Well, they'll be in the Big Ten.
Yeah, they'll be in the Big Ten, but I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I get your point. Yeah, and believe me, I'm not much of a fan of it either.
I just
I
don't
think
know.
I think people are going to end up regretting in the long run. Actually, in the short run, I think within the next 5 years, people are going to end up regretting all this conference realignment.
Yeah,
I guarantee you, whatever they decide to do with these conferences, there is a gold and blue dude video that predicted it. I promise you that. Because he covered pretty much every possibility back in the day, right?
He did.
pretty much.
Well, I'm sure there are some he didn't.
You don't think he covered all the scenarios? Because he made 150 videos, right?
Fuck, I don't know.
I'm not trolling Gold and Blue, dude. Y'all stop. I'm not trolling the guy. I miss him. He was a good dude. I'm just saying.
I quit watching them. That whole realignment crap got on my nerves.
There were so many realignment videos that I just couldn't take it anymore like you, Slim. I couldn't do it.
Well, because I had the same thought of it then that I have now. You give it a few years, everybody's going to be regretting it.
Well,
I think even the teams are going to be regretting it. I think Cal and USC are going to regret going to the Big Ten.
Well, they're going to be. Southern Cal can't even win the Pac-12, more or less win the Big Ten. So.
Well, they got in a lot of trouble, so I understand. And then they made some dumb coaching hires.
75. I can't believe. I did not think Southern Cal was going to win the Pac-12. I was actually right. I said Washington was going to win the Pac-12, but I didn't think they would be that bad. 75. I didn't think that.
Yeah, that apparently Lincoln Riley can't even do at Southern Cal what he did at Oklahoma.
Right. Yeah.
He's probably regretting.
Did Oklahoma wind up 7-5 this year, or what was their record this year?
Oklahoma's 10-2.
Oh, 10-2. 10-2.
And people are crying. Oklahoma fans were crying about that. People are calling Oklahoma frauds. I'm like, they were 6-6 last year. Yeah. How are they a fraud going 10-2 this year? Yeah. Y'all need to stop. Yeah.
I think Brent
win 4 more games.
Oklahoma. It's just my opinion.
I didn't follow them as much as I should have this year. I've been kind of keeping up with Venables, but I didn't do a good job of it this year.
Does anyone know what ended up being TCU's record this year? Because remember they were the runner-up.
5-7. They didn't even make a bowl game.
5-7.
TCU fell off pretty hard this year.
They're not.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give credit. I'm gonna give credit to. I'm gonna give a major shout out to YouTubers because it's hard to go live. Go live for all these games and stuff like that because sometimes you just want to watch it at the comfort of your own house and
that's why I don't stream games because I'd rather just watch the game.
But I give a major shout out to all the people that do because that's pretty freaking hard. Because I like to watch on my recliner and watch the games and instead of having to. I give major props. Major props.
And I feel you, bro.
I've tried streaming the games before, but when you only have one person watching, it makes it really difficult.
Yeah. I don't watch a lot of game streams either. I don't want to watch a person watching a game. I'd rather just watch the game.
Yeah, I go on there like I watch Uncle Lou and I put the TV on mute and watch the game and him talk about it. But
I've done that before. I have done that. but I don't even do that very often.
But
I'll do that. I'll do that with Pete because I'm not bothered listening to commentators most of the time.
Well, I've done that with Pete on the about the last 10 minutes of the 10 or 15 minutes. I don't know. I want to say half of the third quarter. I watched the Pete stream, muted the TV. I was in there for just a little bit. I don't remember how long it was, but it wasn't very long. But
I haven't really been in the live chats, but I've been watching a lot of streams.
Pete didn't have a dog in the fight in that SEC game, so it was pretty easy to watch him put the stream on, you know. And I did a little old 10 or 15 minute live after the game. It wasn't very long.
But I've been trying to tell Sea-Dog that he needs to thank Mario Cristobal for not kneeling down because he would have lost a lot of bets this year. He would have been 5-7.
Did Georgia Tech give you a football game last week?
Huh?
Did Georgia Tech give you a football game last week?
I mean,
didn't they only lost by 5 or 6 points?
We won by 8, but define a football game. Like, did you
No,
ever?
they gave you a game.
Did you ever think Georgia Tech would win that game?
No, I didn't thought, but I was so shocked that they was actually in the game with y'all. I thought y'all was blowing them up by 70. And he's gone.
We lost Slim.
Millis, it was real. Roll Tide, roll. That's the first and last time you hear me say that. There.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty disgusting. That was pretty disgusting there, saying that there. But I like Alabama. Alabama got a good program. Georgia just got our class and our coach today. That's what it all boils down to.
Yeah.
Alabama just bullied Georgia all through again. They just basically pushed them around. Georgia was not ready for that physicality, and Alabama got the best of them today.
We appreciate the kind words, man, and good luck to the Gators going into the rest of the. Are they going to a bowl game, the Gators?
Oh no, we're sitting on the couch while getting ready to fire. We should be firing our. We should be firing our coach. That's what we should be doing. But I really don't know why we're not firing our coach. Here he goes, the Georgia Bulldogs.
Hey,
I understand you're going to Slav Olympics in March. Are you going to Slav Olympics, Octavian?
It's right there in Pensacola. Yeah. When is it? Is it March or something?
It's Panama City, and it's in the first weekend of March, I believe.
Hey, I just wanted to pop back on here. My phone died, but I just wanted to pop on here and say that congratulations to the Roll Tide and that, and Ballard and Millis Vanillis and all the Tide fans. Congratulations on a win. I hope that Bama gets in if Georgia can't. It's pretty much, Georgia's probably not going to get in. So I hope Alabama sneaks their way in because I think they deserve it. I think Georgia deserves it too, but you can't leave out undefeated teams. I understand that. So, anyways, I'm getting out of here. Go Dogs.
Thanks, Mayhem. Good to see you again, bro.
Go Gators, Mayhem. As always, go Gators.
Anyway, I'm going to be at the Slavs. I'm looking forward to meeting you up there, sir. I'd like to meet you.
I'm going.
Oh, yeah, man.
I'm going.
All right, so y'all have a good night.
All right. We'll holler at you later,
y'all have
brother.
a good one.
Yes, sir.
Octavian. Yeah, I plan on my grandmother's going to go with me, but we're probably going to book a hotel room soon and maybe after the holidays or something, but we plan on going in March.
That's great, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Are you going to do a costume or no?
Nah, I think for this first time, just kind of roll with it.
Really? I think they're giving away points for the costumes this year.
Are they?
I think so. I believe they announced that they were doing something like 5 points just for wearing a costume. There's not going to be a costume contest, just if you do a costume, there's points for that. I think.
I got Alabama Shakers over there in that popcorn bucket from the game we went to last year.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
what I do, I got a couple over there too. Look at that. Put some shakers on my head like it's hair, and then just wear an Alabama cap and start wearing Alabama gear. I'll be Mr. Roll Tide.
I'm going all out. My costume's going to be epic. You know me. I don't give
Did you go last year? Because I know I saw videos of you in Pigeon Forge.
No, I made Pigeon Forge, but that was the year before last.
Yeah.
Last year was down
South Carolina.
Isle of Palms. I didn't make it to that one, but I drove to the Slavs year before last in my costume in my car, and I stopped for fuel. And it was about a 2.5 hour drive in my car.
Yeah.
I was wearing my twerk suit, and I even checked into the hotel, and that's how I met Pete, actually. Pete and Mrs. Pete were coming downstairs to go get lunch right as I was checking in. And he wasn't expecting to be some football fat ass at the check-in,
Yeah.
That's how he and I actually met the first time in person. It was great.
Did you recognize Pete?
I did recognize Pete. How do you not recognize Pigskin Pete? He's always wearing that backwards hat, and he's got that 5 o'clock shadow. So I recognized him instantly, and I'm sure he recognized me right away. And I think Mrs. Pete, she had this look of shock on her face, but the hotel check-in guy had a lot of questions that he didn't want to ask me because he was being professional at the moment,
Yeah.
So I eased his mind and filled him in, and he didn't even know Slav Olympics was a thing coming to that hotel. And later that afternoon, they had a banner out front that said, "Welcome Slavs."
I love it.
So there's nothing better than being in downtown Pigeon Forge with a hotel with a sign welcoming Slavs to their hotel. Pretty fun.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't make it last year. But I'm going to be there come this coming March. I got several costume ideas. I may actually do more than one costume. I might do a costume on Friday and then a different one on Saturday or something. I don't know.
Now, do you have, are you staying at the Days Inn that everyone else is staying at, or do you have your own hotel?
No, I already booked a room at that Days Inn because there ain't nothing more fun than being in a hotel full of Slav Olympians. Trust me.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I really am, because I need to meet everybody else at some point.
I tell you, it was fun.
I got this picture up. Look, I got this picture, man, from our game last year, and it was an amazing experience.
Look at that. How about that? That's a great picture, dude.
Roll Tide.
That's all right, dude. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that was a good time.
We need to do it again sometime for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. I didn't get to catch any games this season, but
yeah.
I will definitely be catching at least 1, 2, maybe 3 games next year,
Cool.
And like that. I'd love to be able to do at least one game, just us YouTubers like we did before,
Well, let's keep in touch about that, man. You got my number, and
yeah, sure.
I'm sure you're still. I don't know if you're still in contact, but obviously, I'm sure X hasn't been too upset to block you or nothing. But
yeah,
I know.
No, X ain't got no feelings, man. He's good.
Yeah.
And I can still get a hold of him if I need to. Sure.
Cool.
And, maybe this year I won't wreck a freaking car on the way home.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I eventually fixed that old car, got it fixed up, and sold it off.
Yeah.
I didn't make any money on it, but I got it gone. And I was determined to fix that car. They still never caught the guy that hit us.
Really?
No, they thought they had him, but it was the wrong person. So they still ain't never, they're probably not even looking for the person anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's been over a year. It's got
Man,
to
it's
be water under the
sure
bridge.
has. Yeah. The Atlanta police are some of the worst police in the country as far as big cities. They don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
And I was surprised they didn't have cameras out there. But I've learned that the loop around Atlanta 285 has no cameras. The only cameras are inside the loop. And we got hit on the loop. There's no cameras on that loop. So
Wow, that's a tough
yeah,
place to get hit too.
I know that loop should have cameras.
Cody says, "What number will Alabama go to now?" I say no higher than 3, maybe. I mean, I know we beat the number 1 team, but I don't know if we get the number 1 seed. And I don't think because of you'll have
Hell no.
Florida State and Michigan, that at least Florida State and Michigan will be the top 2.
If Alabama does get into the playoffs, which I'm sure they won't, but if they did, it would be number 4 at best.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow. We got the selection show, I believe, at noon.
It's at noon, yeah. There's no scenario where Alabama goes 3, 2, or 1.
Yeah. If they get in, they're number 4, and they're the last team.
And I really don't expect that to even happen. But we're going to get trolled about us being mad about it and that. And I'm not. I'm proud of the team, and I'm happy with what we've got. If we don't get in the playoffs and we finish with an SEC win, that's good news to me.
Well, think about this. You had in the offseason people saying they'd lose 2 or 3 games. They lost to Texas, and they won out, and they won the SEC over Georgia, who is the best team. I mean, come on.
Yeah, been the number 1 or number 2 team for 2 seasons now. So
yeah.
Do I want Alabama to get in the playoffs? Well, hell yeah. That would be terrific and amazing and fantastic. But if we don't get in the playoffs, I'm just as happy. Because look where we started out. We started out with this loss to Texas.
You're going to have a lot of guys back next year, too, to actually compete for a national title if it doesn't happen this year.
It's a young team, so we got a lot of returning players
forward. Yeah.
So I'm okay with whatever we get.
Yeah, me too. Well, Millis, it's 10:30 here in Alabama. Any final words before we get out of here, man? I love you, man, and I miss talking to you.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back, man. I missed all my friends on YouTube, and I'm kind of working my way back into it. And all I can say is, I appreciate everybody that was patient with me and let me get back into the swing of things. And I'm thinking about doing my live stream every Thursday and picking back up on that and stuff. I'm just kind of taking it easy and see how it goes. If you're not subscribed to Millis Vanillis, please do so, because it ups me in the algorithms when I get more subs and that. And I would just like to be above Milli Vanilli, if nothing else. And but yeah, that's all I got, man. And roll tide, and God bless everybody. Have a great holiday, and stay tuned to the Millis Vanillis channel.
Thanks, Millis. Love you, buddy.
Thank you for having me on, Ballard. Roll tide, sir.
Roll tide. All right, Millis, everybody, checking in tonight. We had a great stream. Don't forget, we're 1 week away from our 4-year celebration on here. My, how old was it? 22nd birthday. I'm losing track. Am I getting old? I don't know. Feels like it. 21 years, my tail. But we'll celebrate next week. We'll get I'll have to do something for the Army-Navy game. I don't like to predict that game, like score-wise, or pick a winner. But I always salute the servicemen and women in this country, the kids at the academy. Thank you so much for your service and what you're doing to help make this country strong and great. We love and appreciate you, and we're sure that you'll give it a great game on the field next Saturday. So we're looking forward to that. I'll have to make a small video about it. Maybe I'll clip this. I don't know. But thank you for your services in the military, Navy, Coast Guard, Marines, Air Force, Army. Thank you all so much for what you do for this great country. We love and appreciate you all. All right, that's going to do it. We're live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Next stream, do I work tomorrow? I might be working tomorrow night. I'll double check the schedule. If not, maybe we'll bring back the call-in show. We'll try to see what we can do. I have to study for my math exam this next week. I take it. So, or is it the week after? Anyway, it's been a long day for me, guys. I'm going to get some rest tonight. I love you all. God bless. And from an Alabama fan, Roll Tide. Congrats to Georgia on a terrific season. Best of luck tomorrow where you guys end up. If you make the playoffs, great. If not, we wish you luck in your bowl game. But thanks for playing a heck of a game and playing a heck of a season here in college football. Georgia did great, but Alabama came out on top this afternoon. Love you guys. See ya. Peace.